All right. You're listening to 91.5 WUML Lowell Blues Deluxe, and it's my honor and pleasure to have Tom Clawson from Buck69 on with me today. Hello, Tom.
Hi, John. Appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm just going to let the listening audience know how I found out about you. A friend of mine that I work with was on, I think, Spotify, and he stumbled on one of your songs, and he texted me and said, "You got to hear this band. They're great." Lo and behold, I started digging into your band, and I loved everything I was hearing. And I said to him, "Thank you for that tip. I'm going to see if I can get someone from the band on with me." And guess what? I was able to connect with you, and we're doing it now.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
So,
Ask me. Ask me anything you want.
okay. Well,
At 65, I'm not bashful.
all right. Starting out as a kid, did you know you were going to be playing blues or rock music back then, or what were you listening to growing up?
Um, Actually, I didn't really start. My mom, she listened to Detroit, like Motown, and Rita, and uh, Sam Cooke, and Johnny Mathis, that kind of stuff. And my dad was totally on the opposite. He listened to like Hank Williams Sr. and bluegrass, that type of stuff. And my mom told me when I got older as a kid, when I was real little, still in diapers, I'd stand in front of the TV whenever Bandstand come on or Soul Train, and I'd be dancing. And she knew I always liked music and loved it a lot, but music really didn't come into my life or anything. I got four sisters and three brothers, and nobody was music in the family or anything like that. And it was probably about eighth grade. I was going by a ice cream social type thing. People probably don't know what that is nowadays, but and there was a rock band playing, and it was Johnny Be Good and House of the Rising Sun kind of stuff and everything. And I was checking it out, and I was like, I really like that. And then eventually, I got like ninth grade. I was big in sports. I was playing football, running track, and wrestling, and all that stuff. And um, I watched the movie about Hank Williams Sr., the life of Hank Williams Sr., and it was like, that's what I want to do. I want to do that. I want to write songs and play music. And so 10th grade come around, and I turned in my football stuff, and I went home, and I told my dad, I said, I quit football. And I'd been playing several years, and he was so upset. And he says, get out, just get out of the house. He kicked me out. And it was like 10th grade. And I started walking down the street, and I guess my mom says to him, well, if he's leaving, I'm leaving too. So out she come, and she starts walking down the street with me. And we get a little ways down, and my dad comes out and yelling, get your ass back home. And so we went back home, and my dad didn't talk to me for about a month. And next thing I know, it was my birthday come around in November, and he bought me a a Fender F-150 acoustic guitar. And so I started playing it, and within like 6 months, I was playing in the bars. Rhythm guitar, had a lead guitar player and a drummer. We didn't even have a bass player. Um, and then he seen that I was serious, and he got me a Fender Quad Reverb amp and a Gibson L6 electric, and a microphone. And the next thing you know, Friday nights come around, and he says, load up the car, we're going to the bar. And we'd load up the car, and me and him, we'd go down to one of the bars, and says, my kid's playing for free. And we'd sit there, and I'd play music in the corner, singing Hank and Cash and Johnny Be Good and stuff like that. And they'd load my amp up with shots of Black Velvet on it. And I'm like 16 and a half, 17. And we'd sit there and play. And then the bar would close at 1 o'clock, and Dad'd say, okay, we're going to my house. And here's my mom and brothers and sisters. I'm the oldest, but they're all in bed sleeping. We'd haul in 6, 7, maybe 10 people, play music till 7 o'clock in the morning. Everybody go home, and we'd wait till the next weekend. And or if the band had a gig or something, we'd go and play and stuff. But I did that till I was ready to leave high
So,
school. When I got
so,
married, I went
so
in
were
the
you shocked when he handed you a guitar? After
yeah,
everything
yes,
that he said to you?
yes. It was very strange, but I mean, I spent so much time. My bedroom was in the attic, and I listened to. I could sing all the Hank Williams songs and stuff, and I'd sing along with them constantly. And so, I think he kind of realized this is what I wanted to do. I'm like 155 pounds soaking wet. What am I going to do playing football against some big guy?
Yeah.
I just never put any weight on it. Stuff like I knew that was not my place to go. That was not where I needed to go. So
And he figured that out too, I guess.
absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
good. So acoustic, you were doing electric too at the same time with a
Yeah,
band.
but I've always been a lead singer and played rhythm guitar. I never, um, my biggest thing, I didn't want to really play covers. Um, I always wanted to write my own songs and just be me, be my own person type of thing. And it's always been that way. It still is today. I don't have a problem with playing covers or anything like that. And I've done it lots of times, actually, even right before COVID hit for a few years. Me and a good friend of mine, TJ Karras, we were doing acoustic gigs around town and things like that. We actually went down and played at Ohio State Fair. Um, that was like the second time I've been down there. I was down there with the band years before that. And my son and I did a bunch of acoustic stuff. We played at the Blues Challenge down in Memphis, my son and I, for that. And
That was
which
2012, I read.
yes, yeah, it was great times, great people. All the people you get to meet and stuff. But as I got later in the high school, my senior year and stuff like that, I started getting more. I was listening to Skinner and Allman Brothers, um, that's the Stones, Croce, Taylor, all the songwriters,
Yep.
Dylan, Harry Chapin. I really always leaned a lot towards the songwriters.
Singer-songwriters, most of those
Right,
guys.
right,
Yep.
right.
So you were doing acoustic stuff. You were writing songs, and then what was it? 2004. Your son, you and your son said, "Let's go put a band together."
Yeah, I had a son pass away in 1999. My son Alex's younger brother, and he took that really, really hard. They were really close and stuff like that. And of course, as well as we did. And so for like 2 years afterwards, he was kind of like missing in action. And there was just a lot of distance between everybody, sadness, that type of stuff and everything. But uh, it was probably like 2002 and right in there and everything. I went down to where he was living, and here he had been learning to play lead guitar and stuff like that. Um, the thing like the crossroads where you just go somewhere and take off and nobody hears from you for a
Yep.
couple of years.
Yep.
And so he put his feelings and stuff like that into playing guitar and stuff. And he became really, really good lead guitar player, rhythm lead. And we were hanging out a little more, and he says, maybe we should do some open mics. And because I hadn't been playing either for a while. And so, I started a career. I raised the kids, got them through high school and everything. And he was like, yeah, you got to start playing again. You got to start. And I picked up the guitar, and he got a guitar, and we started doing open mics around town here in Toledo for like 2 years. And we met Candace and a bunch of other musicians from around Toledo and everything. And like you say, it was like 2004. He's like, he said, we got to start a band. And I'm like, Okay, so we went from acoustic to doing a band, and so we tried that for like 6 months. And the first people we hooked up with and started playing, and um, my son didn't click with them, and he said, "No, we gotta search out and get better musicians and stuff like that." He says, so I said, "All right," and I went around town and I met Buzz Anderson. He was the same age as my son, and he was up and coming and really on the blues rock scene, really good guitar player. And he had a keyboard player, he had a drummer, he had a bass player. And so I talked to him and stuff, and I said, "Hey, I'm looking at starting this band Buck69, and but we're not going to do bar gigs. We're only going to do like fairs, festivals, and I want to concentrate on producing maybe 1 or 2 CDs, original songs, that kind of stuff and everything." And they said, "Sure, we're on board." And so we started the band and we started playing, and I started putting the songs together. And um, I would write out the music and the lyrics and stuff, and I'd do a recording of me with the acoustic, and I'd give it to everybody, and I'd give them an idea of what I was looking for as far as the sound and everything. And my whole idea was the band would be, my son was more of a rock guitar player, um, and Buzz was more of a blues guitar player. So I figured I'd have both of those two guys, guitars, bass, Candace singing backup, and Dave Allen came. We great drummer, really good. Plus he had good vocals, and we all clicked. So the keyboard player, the drummer, and myself, we were the old parts in the band. I mean, we were the older guys who've been playing a while, and then of course, and then Buzz and Candace and my son and Todd, and they were all younger. So it was a good mix. We had young and old mixed into it
Yeah.
together, which we clicked. It really worked well.
Let's talk about Candace. I was like blown away when I saw that she was an American Idol, one of the people that the second American Idol, I guess she
She
competed
made it
in.
into she made it up to top 32 and went. Um, she was real young as well. And I met her at a place in Toledo called the Roadhouse, where they had open mics on Wednesday nights. And Alex and I would go there a lot of times and play. And we met her there, and she would sing and stuff like that. And my son Alex had known her for a couple years already before that. And she got the chance to audition, and her and a friend of hers, they went out to California, auditioned, and she made it to the first round or so and made it in the top 32. And
Wow.
when she came back, um, my son Alex, when we were putting the band together, he says, "Let's talk to Candace. Maybe she'll want to do backup and stuff." And so we talked to her, and she jumped in as well. And the big thing with Buck69 itself is the musicians. Everybody in the entire band is like their own individual and has a lot of things going on themselves. Buzz had his own band and he kept doing that. Candace was doing a lot of stuff. She actually, right now, her and guy Chris that plays piano, they play around Toledo and do the piano bar type stuff and everything. And BJ Love, he's been in several other blues bands, Good to Bad to Blues, which is played down in Memphis and stuff as well. And he's a stage actor. Everybody's really talented, all of them. And so I've always let everybody just go and do what they're doing. And we fit that around the schedule of what we were doing. So it worked out nice. It was good.
I was pleasantly surprised to hear Candace singing lead on a couple, 2 or 3 songs on No Medicine Like the Blues. It was like, wow, there's her voice up front.
Well, we did that. We did the first CD, and I had already had most of those songs already written. And so when it came time to do the second CD, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta write something that I can have her sing. And so the 2 songs she does on that, I wrote both of those, and she was great. She did a great job on them. So
Killer. She's great.
oh yeah, she's got great vocals, great personality, just an all around good person, just awesome.
And you have great vocals too. The stuff all over those CDs. You sound great on them.
Yeah, thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Um, so okay, the first CD came out 2008, I think. Was it?
Two,
Well,
2007. Yeah,
seven. Yeah,
2007. Right. Yeah.
that was the first thing I heard when I started digging into your catalog of two CDs. That was the first one I heard, and it just blew me away. I was like, wow,
Yeah,
when
you can see it's definitely a little more rock oriented, that one, compared to the second one. Yeah.
yeah. But you can hear both blues and rock in both of them,
Right.
like you were
Absolutely.
saying.
Yeah, I got that 70s thing in my head, and that's that's kind of how I write. So
So yeah, the first record, I'm telling you, it was like I'm listening to Cold Wind and Sometimes and Misery, and it's like those are the three songs I played to start on the show a few weeks ago. I started with Cold Wind and played right into Sometimes, and then this past week I played Misery,
oh, nice.
and I just got you had sent me the latest one. I can't wait for the listening audience to hear No Medicine Like the Blues. That's a great song.
Thank you.
And then the new song, well, the newest song that you have out, Peacemaker, is another great song.
Yeah, that one meant a lot to me. I mean, it was definitely more emotional, and even the guys in the band felt it was more
Tell me,
pertinent.
tell me about that. How that came about. That song came about. I can figure out how it came out, but I want you to tell me how that song came about.
Last year, um, one of the school shootings, mass shootings, and I think it might have been the Texas one. There's been so many now that I can't remember. But um, I I'm watching it on the news, and everything on Facebook, and it's always lots of thoughts and prayers, And so I'm like, that, that's not a solution. I mean, it's nice and it makes everybody feel a little better, but it's not the solution. And then at the same time, Ukraine happened, and it just nothing's getting better as far as that. And so I sat down and I come up with that idea, and that's where I started writing and put it together, and then I had to actually I made sure that I asked each individual musician before we went into the studio. I let them hear it to make sure they were okay with doing the song because of how controversial it could be.
Controversial it is a little bit. Yeah.
Right, right, absolutely. So I made sure it was okay with each one of them, and we talked about it, and um, you can see in the video we definitely leaned more towards Ukraine and what was going on there, the conflict there,
Yeah.
than anything here in the United States.
Well, if the listening audience is listening, you need to go and find the acoustic version that's on YouTube that Tom put out. I think that was prior to it, right? Before it come out.
Right, right.
And you
Usually,
can you can see the emotion in your playing and singing on that acoustic version is great.
thank you. Thank you.
And then listening to the actual band version is even better after that once you see both.
Yeah, I always find it interesting because uh, I'll play something for people acoustic of how I originally wrote it, and then when they hear it once the band's together and what I was actually hearing in my head that I wanted to happen, a lot of people were like, "Holy cow!" Look at the difference.
Tell me where the name Buck69 comes from.
When Alex said that he wanted to start a band, of course, I'm like, okay, so we got to come up with a name. And I'm cruising down Route 75 here in Ohio, headed southbound. And believe it or not, there's a road called Buck Road. And I'm doing like 69 miles an hour down 75, and there's Buck Road, and I said, Buck 69. And I said, sure, why not? And that's where it came
Wow.
from. Nothing,
Wow.
nothing special about it other than just happenstance, you know?
That's great. So let's talk about the first record. When you started to do that, you had a whole bunch of acoustic things that you brought to the band, and the band play. You had them arrange them the way you wanted it. How long did that take to do that?
The first one was uh, like 2.5 years. Um, Great story. I got the guys together, said, okay, let's do the CD. And I told them what we were going to do, and they were all forward for it. And they said, okay. And so I found a studio here in town. And I'm not going to say the name or anything, but a good studio. And I gave the guy $900 down. And he had a student that was working in the recording room and said, this guy's going to handle what you do. And if he has any problems, he'll get with me and stuff. And so I got 3 songs, the tracks down, rhythm for drums and bass. I had given him $900 down, and I called to set up another time to go in the studio. And he says, Tom, I got bad news. He says, the kid I had as a student got upset. I can't remember why or whatever, but he took the hard drive from the computer with all the songs that they'd been doing, including mine's already that were in there, and left and went home to Cincinnati.
Wow.
So all my stuff was gone. And that's how I started off my first experience with recording. So he says, I can get you somebody new. I said, no, I can't do that. I says, because I pay these guys when they come in there, I'm paying the musicians myself for studio time and stuff, not just you. I'm paying those guys as well. They're not doing this for free. I said, and I've already paid them for this time they already did. And I said, just give me my $900 back and I'll figure something else out. And by chance, I found John Sevilla. He had a studio also in town here, and I got a hold of him, and right away we clicked. It was a totally different situation. He's a really great musician, could play lead guitar, and actually he's the lead guitar player on No Medicine. Just phenomenal musician and stuff, and we like the same kind of music and everything. And he says, yeah, I want to produce your CD and stuff. And so I started going over there, and all the other guys clicked with him as well. And it was a great friendship that formed from there. It was phenomenal. But yeah, it took like 2.5 years because I spent all my own money, actually on both CDs. And it probably took, I would say the 2 CDs cost me combined like $20,000 to put them all together, the marketing, the advertising, to get them back. But I've got my money back 3 times since put it out. So, I mean, it was worth it, the whole thing, to do what we did.
So we were talking before the interview about now you can you're getting input from all over the world from your music. Tell me a little bit about when that started and how that's affected what you do now today.
The I guess I hit it at that 2004, 2007. You know, internet was taking off, cell phones were taking off, and I've got a degree in business management, marketing, that type of thing, and so I was able to know how to get the marketing out, reach the right people, to get reviews and things like that. And the internet, it lets you just hit an entire world of population of people. Blues, as you know, that genre is not like at the top of the list of what's listened to worldwide. I mean, you're competing with country and pop and now rap and hip hop, that type of thing.
It's a niche music.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. So, and my market, I knew that the market range was the 55 and older crowd. And so the internet let me
Target those people.
Those age groups. And little by little, with the help with people like yourself, and interviews and that type of thing, the marketing, it really helped. Huge. I mean, and it helped me meet a lot of friends. I mean, as far as different musicians and stuff, we've never met, but we're friends from all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. With
Right.
my radio show and people all over the world. It opened a whole new world up because I mean, my radio station goes with 2 million people, about 20, 30 miles. It's FM, but now it's worldwide. So anybody in the world can listen to what I'm doing.
Right. Right.
So
yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. On the other hand, the only thing that's kind of sad about that is that, and you know as well as I do, that we're so over flooded with information, constantly, all the time, between TikTok and just tons and tons of information, that now it's like, if you don't catch somebody's attention in the first 30 seconds, they're gone. Yep. Especially the younger crowd. And it's sad because, as far as I'm concerned, the best music ever was 60s and 70s and early 80s. And to get kids and stuff to listen to that, it's like pulling teeth.
Yep. So the next record came out quite a few years after the first one. No Medicine Like the Blues. Tell me about that.
This time I had to, the songs I had for When She Whispers Your Name, I had already had them kind of, pretty much ready to go. So I had to write all new stuff. And John, so just to give you an understanding also, is when I decided to do the CDs, I told my son, I said, when we do a CD, I want a person to be able to put the CD in the car and be driving down the road and not think they're hearing the same song every time. I want diversity in the songs, so you can put it in and you want it to just let it play and hear the different things and get, ear candy and just keep on going and not get bored halfway through the CD. And so I concentrated on trying to do that. And that's the reason why I had Alex as far as with the rock guitar.
You were successful. Because when I put the first CD in, it was like, wow, all these songs are different, just like you said.
Right. And that's what I wanted. I didn't want things to be all the same. And so when I wrote a bunch of the new songs for the next one, it took me a little while. And the first one also, your first CD, you get kind of excited and you want to get it done. You just want to, and you rush a little more. So on the second one, we took our time, a lot more time.
And the production on the second one, it sounds great in a car, I'll tell you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
The production, the arrangements, on a lot of those, including No Medicine Like the Blues. What a great song. You change up a little bit halfway through.
And we do the little speed up. Sure.
Yep. And it sounds great when you do it. And you can't even tell you're doing it.
Yeah, we did. I told him I wanted a gradual, that's what we have, a little bit of a breath where it's just the keyboards and the bass and the drums to lead into that speed up. John Sevilla played the lead guitar on that. BJ Love, I mean, he played the keyboards, the piano. And we sat down and when I gave it to BJ, I said, I want you to do the piano to match the syllables in the sentence of my lyrics as I'm singing it. And so I gave him the guitar chords and stuff like that. And he sat down and he matched the keyboard to go along with the sentences and the lines as far as the lyrics. And then once we did that, I told John, I said, now you already got the keyboard part. I says, you should be able to mirror that. And then I'll let you let loose when we get to this change up and speed up and stuff, and you can let loose on it. And he played that lead on a Flying B Marshall stack, and with his fingers, no picks.
Wow. So let's talk about a short period of time you were out playing with the band, and you had to stop because of COVID. Tell me about that.
Right. Well, a little before COVID, we had already started kind of like everybody, the younger people in the band were all wanting to do their own, really pursue their own thing. Even my son had started his own speed metal band called Bathhouse Betty, and they were real popular around Toledo here, and I mean really tight, really good. And he, he had people his age, that type of thing, and it was more. He started to go that way, and Buzz was getting calls to go and play with other blues musicians, maybe like out on tour for a little bit and stuff. And he had his own band going, so he had that going. And Candace, again, she started, like I said, she started the piano thing, and so everybody was kind of like doing their own thing, and it started getting busier with that. So I kind of like got to the point where I was like, they're young, it's their turn, let them go do what they're doing.
Let them do what they have to do.
Right. And don't bug them and stuff like that. And I said, okay, I'm just going to kind of like sit back. I'm going to play some acoustic. And so I hooked up with a friend of mine, TJ Karras, and we were going around playing around Toledo, and 2-3 times a month. And we were playing acoustics, like 3-hour nights and stuff. And I'd throw in some of my stuff, and we'd do covers. And COVID hit. And then at that point in time, I just said, you know what? I'm not going out and playing out anymore. I said, I'm going to concentrate on writing. And when I got something I feel that's worthy to take into the studio, I'll just get a hold of the guys and say, hey, free up some time, and are you interested in recording this with me? And that's what we've been doing.
And they all said yes.
Sure.
I mean, great.
They love going in and getting a chance to record and throwing it out, because they know how popular, as far as a Toledo band. I mean, BUCK69 has got pretty popular as far as around the world. So, but Buzz was playing someplace, and somebody from New Jersey was here in town, and they said, "Aren't you in that band BUCK69?" And he was like, "Sure." So,
see, you never know.
Right.
So that record came out. You've been still doing acoustic stuff. The next record, that's my next question. You're working on putting together some songs for a third record.
Yeah, I have enough right now for a third one, and I could actually take I have 4 that are actually recorded, but including this one that's coming out in the next few weeks. But it seems to me it's easier nowadays to just release a single, and then I think once I have enough that's actually, say 13 or 14 songs, 16 or whatever, then put them all together and then release it, and just do like one at a time right now. I'd rather take my time and get them
the way you want them,
where I want them, and what I like, and know it's something that's worth putting on a CD and stuff. And and then plus at the same time, with the way the internet and stuff is nowadays, that you got people like you can collaborate with and stuff like that. The song "Trust Me with Your Money," I sent it over to you. I don't know if you had a chance to hear
it. It's great.
And it's just something to be fun have fun with and stuff like that. But do you know Lori and Rusty Wright? Rusty Wright
I
Band?
know who Rusty Wright is. Yep.
Okay, so I've known them a long, long time, and so I got a hold of them, and I asked Rusty if he wanted to do, and he played the lead on that.
Huh.
And so, I sent him what we had as far as the music and stuff, and told him what I was looking for. And then him and Lori did some backup vocals, and Candace did some backup vocals, and I did stuff here in Toledo. And now you're able to work with people from all over the world. Like the strings that are on Peacemaker is from a guy that's from Spain that did the strings for me. He works with Sony and stuff like that. And I gave him a copy of the song and said, I'm looking for strings. I want a cello, maybe first, second chair, violin. And he said, Tom, I can take care of you, no problem whatsoever. And like 2 weeks later, I had the strings for the song.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just amazing. And I'm sure like different people that you're interviewing and talk to and stuff, they'll tell you the same thing. I mean, you can do a lot of stuff nowadays and collaborate or work with people long distance. And it's just amazing, the people you get to meet.
Well, the singles thing is a big thing now. All these great artists that are out there, I'm putting full records out. They're doing one single, then two singles, and then all of a sudden the record comes out.
Right. And that's kind of like the way I'm leaning the same thing. I just think nowadays it's the way to go. And then plus by releasing a single, you can see how well it does.
Yep.
And how it took off as far as different people and what kind of vibes you got back from people on your Facebook page or YouTube and that kind of thing. And you can say, yeah, that's worthy of putting on a CD. And then you put your CD together. So, and I can see why they would do that. And it just keeps your name alive.
Yeah, it keeps it open for them to, this is a great song. When's the next one coming? Basically.
Right. Absolutely. Yep.
So Peacemaker, we've been talking about that song. You're talking about adding strings to it, and how is that done overseas? Have people?
It's very popular in, believe it or not, Russia and Ukraine.
Wow. How do you know that, by the way?
Because my analytics that I get from YouTube and from Spotify, they give me a report every month as to the people that are listening. Is it males, females, age groups, what country is listening to them? And we're getting listened to just about every country there is in the world right now, which is just shocks the heck out of me. So,
well, let me ask you a question that begs back to one we just spoke about. How are you doing with the 55 plus across the world?
That's the majority actually that listen to us are males. Our larger population is male, and it's 55 up to 65 in that age group.
Wow.
A lot of them. Yeah, which it would make sense because they're people that listen to the music from the 70s and appreciate the rock and the blues, that type of stuff.
That
the
we
Stones.
grew up on. You and I
Right,
grew up
that
on.
we grew up on. Absolutely. Yep. Right.
So, the listening audience doesn't know this, but I'm going to have you said you do one acoustic and it's a new song. You're going to debut it. It's world premiere for us.
World premiere. Yeah, it's called Low Rent Motel, and it's due out in 3-4 weeks.
I really appreciate you taking the time to do this.
I appreciate you doing this for all these years and keeping the music alive. That's for darn sure. All right, it's called Low Rent Motel, and back last year, where I work at, just down the street is this hotel that's it's not the greatest hotel in the world. really low morale kind of stuff. And but that's what gave me the idea for the song. And so when you're listening to it, I hope it makes you want to go take a shower afterwards because that's how bad the motel is. So, but Low Rent Motel. Have you heard about a place where secrets are made on the outskirts of town? A place to escape the life you hate for just $40 down. They charge by the hour, don't check your ID, never discriminate. The sign's lit up 24/7 for the special overnight rate. Cross your heart and swear not to tell. Just one little stop on the road to hell, down at the Low Rent Motel. Down at the Low Rent Motel. It's gonna cost you double to bloat away your troubles in room number 9. Called the horse stable, just a chair and a table. Anymore would be a waste of time. A blue big lighter, little powder, and a spoon. Clean needles cost $1 more. Ready, set, go. Strap yourself down for a ride on the black tar horse. Cross your heart and swear not to tell. Just one little stop on the road to hell, down at the Low Rent Motel. Down at the Low Rent Motel. If you want to pretend there's a room on the end for all your twisted dreams, she'll do all the things you better have want. There's nothing too extreme. No name's the game, money up front to make all your wishes come true. Check the menu for amounts, there's no discount for the minutes you don't use. Cross your heart and swear not to tell. Just one little stop on the road to hell, down at the Low Rent Motel. Down at the Low Rent Motel. The neighbor's wife or the secretary, secret rendezvous at night. Cheap, discreet, tangled up in sheets. To hell with what's wrong or right. He says, I won't tell if you don't as well. Just a little fun between us friends. Till one says love and the other one runs. You know that's how the story ends. Cross your heart and swear not to tell. Just one little stop on the road to hell, down at the Low Rent Motel. Down at the Low Rent Motel. Have you heard about a place where secrets are made on the outskirts of town? A place to escape the life you hate for just $40 down. Cross your heart and swear not to tell. Just one little stop on the road to hell, down at the Low Rent Motel. Down at the Low Rent Motel. Down at the Low Rent Motel.
Yeah, that was great.
Thank you.
And you're gonna do that with the band? You're gonna get it set up with the band, this song?
It's all it's like 98% recorded, and all I have to do is put Candace's backup vocals on it next Wednesday, and then we'll master it. And like I said, probably 2-3 weeks it should be out. And you won't even totally different from what the acoustic sounds like. I mean, it's the same format, same, but once you add the lead guitar, drums, bass, and that kind of stuff, it's Buzz Anderson does a phenomenal job on the lead guitar part.
You gonna have video with it like you do with the others?
We will, but it'd probably take about a month and a half for the video to come out.
Great.
I usually release it on CD Baby and get it sent out to all the Spotify, iTunes, and that kind of stuff. And at the same time, I'll get a hold of my guy at in Europe that does the videos, and then he'll put it on his YouTube page. He's got like 200,000 followers, and he runs a thing for slow blues and blues music, and he's got a huge following. So
going forward, send me the track.
Oh,
so
you
can play it.
I will make sure you get a copy right away. As soon as it's mastered and ready to go, I'll get you a copy right away.
I got another question for you.
Anything you want.
Yeah, I went digging through YouTube video, and there's a lot of acoustic songs that aren't on those two records that are like fabulous. Like I Won't Let This World Bring Me Down. Is that going to be something you're going to do? One of those?
I'm looking at either recording that one next, or I actually just wrote one that I'm just working out some details called Poor Boy Blues. And I'm trying to decide, do I want to, it's fast. So more of a blues rock type thing. And I'm trying to decide, do I want to do that or Don't Let the World Bring Me Down. So.
And there's others, Old Soup Can, Pothole Prison Blues, songs I'd never heard before.
Yeah, Pothole Prison Blues, actually, it is out there now under my name. It's not under the BUCK69 name.
That's the other question I had for you. With all the acoustic stuff that you've done in the past, are you ever going to do something solo, put a solo record out with all these great songs?
I don't know. I mean, the Pothole Prison Blues one is out there now as a single. So that is a possibility, because a lot of the singer-songwriter stuff I have doesn't fit the BUCK69 genre. It's more Americana, it's a roots, singer-songwriter stuff. And I've thought about doing it. I just need to make sure I have enough songs. And I've also had a few people that have contacted me that are young and upper comers that are actually wanting to record some of the songs.
We Can't Be Silent Anymore is another favorite of mine that you do.
That was written for my son that passed away. Right.
Yep. Great song.
Thank you.
So how do people find out about BUCK69?
Just Google us. We're everywhere. As soon as you type in BUCK69, we're everywhere. Spotify, YouTube, tons of Amazon Music, everywhere.
BUCK69.net, not com, right?
Not com. It's BUCK69.net, or just type in BUCK6 BUCK and the number 69, and you'll find us. I mean, we're like 10 pages deep on different things that you can find.
One of these days, I hope I can get you to come travel and play on my radio show, because we have engineers that will record you that are sound recording techs.
Nice.
So I bring every so often. You can't tell from there's no I don't have a website because it's radio, but we've done live recordings since 1994 in the studio, live on the radio. And I've had all kinds of people, national acts come in, international acts play live on the show. And I'd love to have you come acoustic, since, the band doesn't travel, but it'd be great to have you. If you're ever in the New England area, Massachusetts, let me know. We'll get you set up. You can come in and play.
John, I appreciate that. Now, I'll definitely think about taking it up. If I get some vacation time, I'll get a hold of you, and heck, maybe we can make it happen.
Yeah, it's worth it, because
if nothing else, I'd just like to meet you.
Yeah, I'd like to meet you too. Well, I'm meeting you this way,
There you
but
go.
yeah,
Well,
in
sure. You
person.
know what I mean.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
But yeah, the engineers that work for me or have worked for me go to school at the University of Mass at Lowell, and they go and they when they graduate, I actually give them an opportunity. It's me giving back to them an opportunity to record these all these live blues bands that come through.
Nice.
They take the recordings and they get a job at a big studio. A lot of my engineers in the last few years are doing recording of major acts all over the country at all the big
Nice.
studios.
That's great.
Um, one guy that I had a few years ago was an assistant engineer on a Steely Dan record. Um, and
Now that's some great musicians right there.
right, so my engineers, when they leave, they take the blues recordings that help them get a job, and then once they get the job, that's it. They're in,
Nice.
they're working in the big studios. So yeah, I'd love to get you to come in if we can pull that off and get you to play live, and we'll get some of the songs down too live for you.
Sure. That sounds like a plan to me. I'll definitely think about it. Maybe talk to Alex and the two of us come out and
Yeah.
he can back me up on acoustic.
So let's talk. One more thing I wanted to ask you about this next record. When do you think? I know you say you have most of the songs. How long do you think it'll take before we'll see another record?
Um,
Next
I'd
year,
say
maybe.
I'd say 1 to 2 years. I'd say
Okay,
1 to 2 years. Yeah.
that's
I
good. That's good.
I
I
would
mean,
to be honest, I would say that the holdup is more money than it is just getting them done. You know, since I finance the stuff myself and everything, it's just doing it gradual. And as I'm making the money, I put it aside to go in and do this a song. So
well, if you come, we have a multi-track recording studio, so we can multi-track your recording if you want.
nice.
And
You keep talking like that, the whole band might want to come.
oh, bring the whole. I'd love to have the whole band, but I know that logistically that's not possible.
Right, that's pretty tough,
But yeah, you and your son as a duo, that would work too.
yeah, there's a couple videos out there of me and him when we played the acoustic stuff together when we went down to Memphis for the Blues Challenge and stuff. So we clicked pretty good. You could tell. I mean,
There is one other question I had when I was looking through your bio. I didn't realize that you could submit CDs to the IBCs. Did you do that?
yes, but that was way. I mean, when we first did the both CDs, they were still accepting CDs to the IBC. Sure. Do you know
For
Vinny out of Florida?
do I know who?
Vinny out of Florida that usually goes to the IBCs
No, I
and
don't.
uh, music on the couch. He's
I know
usually
about that. Yeah, I know about
yeah, he goes down there every year and stuff. He interviewed us and everything. He's another one like you that's real heavy though into the IBC stuff and the blues and everything. Great guy, same thing. Um, but yes, they did at the time. Not much as Toledo here. They don't have. Actually, I think last year was the last year for the Blues Society here in Toledo. It was either last year or this year, but fortunately, it was here when I first started, and I met so many beautiful people from being involved in that and everything. It was just blues people. You know, you sing sad songs or blues songs, but they're some of the greatest people in this world.
Yep, you're right.
Yep.
And it's not all sad music either. People don't realize
Right.
it.
Right. It's not. Absolutely, it's not. Nope.
Well, Tom, I just want to say thank you for spending some time with me this afternoon. And I look forward to maybe down the road get you to come in and play live on my show one of these days.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate the offer, and I will get you first copy of this new song coming out.
Yeah, anything going forward that you have new, I want to hear it.
There you go. I will do
And I
that.
will play it, I'll tell you. And when we do this, when I rebroadcast this interview on Saturday, 4 o'clock, the listening audience is going to hear some of your first album, early stuff. And then we're going to play the interview. And then right after the interview, they're going to hear Peacemaker and your latest record all the way through, the whole thing. I'm playing the whole thing.
Nice. Nice. That's great. That's great.
And you can listen if you're around and not working. You can listen
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely.
www.wuml.org.
Yeah, and I'm gonna pass it around to everybody I know. I'll put it on my LinkedIn and Spotify, wherever I can put it out there, Facebook and stuff. I'm gonna definitely pass the word. So.
By the way, thank you for watching the video with Roger Earl last week.
Right. Oh yeah, it was awesome. That was the first one I seen, and I seen a couple other ones. I'm definitely going to start scrolling through and going and checking out the other ones.
Yeah, there's a lot of great interviews I've done over the.
Yeah, that's what I want to see that, because I know you've got to talk to some just phenomenal people.
Well,
so.
Kim Simmons, you want to watch that one too.
Yep.
From Savoy Brown. That was a fascinating interview.
I'm sure.
And then, there's others. There's, all kinds. I get to talk to a lot of different people. It's tough sometimes to connect with them because of their schedules. A lot of them.
Right.
But if I can do it, I'm trying to do it like this during the week, where they're not as busy and that, there's not as many gigs. The weekends are hard to do it. I could do it on my show, but it's not easy for them. So
no, I could see that, definitely. Yeah.
And now I'm able to do it. I mean, I have an in with Alligator, the record company. Whenever one of their artists comes to town, I can get an interview with whoever it is now.
Great.
And that's, with other labels as well. I'm working on doing some of that as well. And then guys like you that I find that, again, the reason I've been doing this all these years is to find people like you that are doing that are killing it out there.
Yeah, thank you. Do you know Sonny Mormon or Maria Danes or?
I don't.
Yeah, there's that's the thing about the internet that's so great, and what you're doing, I'm sure you can see. You just get to really find so many and so much talent out there that's just blows you away. It's amazing.
Well, just in Europe right now, who was I talking to about that?
It might have been me. There was somebody.
It might have been. Yeah. But yeah, Europe is absolutely wild, crazy with the amount of great blues artists that are coming out of England, coming out of Italy, coming out of you name it, all over Europe.
Yeah, there's tons of artists. I follow a girl, Maria Danes. I just love her stuff. She's a great songwriter, just awesome vocals, a lot of blues stuff. And Marcus Gills, I follow him. I mean, he's travels all over Europe. He's a busker, but him and his son, and how I met him was his son played bass and him did a couple CDs together. Same time me and my son did, and so we've been friends through the years and everything. But it's unbelievable the people that's out there. Yeah,
especially in England, it's like it never stopped.
Well, I mean, look at you. I mean, look at the Stones and the Beatles and stuff. I mean, that's what those as kids, that's what they grew up on, was blues from the United States. That's what's so amazing is they listen to blues here from the United States, and then they become rock and roll guys.
Well, the other interview, I know who it was I was telling, was Joe Uele, the drummer for John Mayall's band. Check that interview out.
I will. Absolutely. I love it.
He had a lot to talk about when it came to John Mayall.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'll have to definitely look at that. As soon as I seen how many you had, I says, yep, in next few weeks, I'm just going to start going through and see who all you got to talk to. Because I was amazed at the one with the guy from Foghat. I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
And seeing all these guys, because these are all people that I grew up listening, just like you.
Yeah.
listening to, and then hearing them talking and just nonchalant and relaxing, and that's the way.
Well, I have a publicist that I deal with in Las Vegas. His name is John Lappin, and he's brought me incredible people. Like I did a Tom Rush interview. He got me Tom Rush, which is he's an old folk guy from early on, local. He's lives here in New England.
Nice.
Um, Deborah Bonham, John Bonham, this drummer of Led Zeppelin, his sister, who's a blues singer over
Yeah.
in England. I got an interview with her. Um, he's been he got me the guitarist in John Mayall, Buddy Whittington, and Jim Sula. That's another interview I did a few weeks ago with them, and then that connected me with Joe Uele, the drummer from Mayall, and that was even better. So, and this guy Lappin gets everybody. He's pretty, he's a promoter. I guess he's a publicist. He publicizes for them. And then he comes to me and says, "Do you want to do an interview?" And he throws me all these people, and like I'm going to say no. I said, "Oh,
Right.
yeah, I'm not going to say no. Send me whoever you want."
Well, definitely tell your friend from Cleveland that I said thank you.
I will.
Yeah,
His name is Chris Mason. He's a
okay.
big fan of yours too, as
Nice.
well. All right, Tom. Thank you for all the time, and look forward to talking to you and the new record, the new stuff coming out.
You got it for sure. It's been a pleasure, an absolute pleasure. And again, maybe we'll get to meet someday. And
We will.
there you
I
go.
We'll see. So it's buck69.net. Don't forget that. Go check that website out.
Thanks so much, John.
All right. We'll see you. Thank
All
you.
right, sir.
Bye bye.